Hey, so McHorse is busy with the Teletubby videos, so I thought I'd help him out and be a stand-in for today. A lot of people, including me, have been asking how to animate the eyes in the Blockbuster models like in the previous video. Well, I've been tinkering with the tools McHorse gave us, and I wanted to give you guys a simple guide on how to animate Blockbuster recordings, movements, and eyes. First off, we should set a mindset before we begin creating our animated recordings. Think of them as stop-motion models. Have you ever seen those animated Lego videos where the minifigures move by themselves? That's stop motion. It's basically taking pictures one at a time of your actor moving slightly and linking them up together to make it look like it's moving on its own. We'll be doing something similar to that, but with Minecraft models, and it's a lot easier here too. If we go into the Blockbuster block, you can already see I have a finished animated actor. She has 6 models that cycle through a loop. This is stop motion. You can also edit the duration of each model, but we'll get into that later. Just know that whenever you work with an animated model, you have many different models within the actor that cycle through each one to get the animation. So to start off, let's make a new model. We'll just do 2. Name tag doesn't really matter. We'll call it test dummy. And we need to pick a morph. Where you want to start, if you want to do an animated pose, you want to use the sequencer. The sequencer is basically your bread and butter when it comes to this. So as you can see, we already have 2 models in here. We're going to get rid of this one for now. So this one, we need to pick a morph because we're not animating Steve in this case. So you want to go here. This might be wrong. I need to talk to McHorse about this later, but you need to choose the Alex 3D model. If you incorporated the folder which he sent you in the previous video, you can use this. So we click on this, we click edit, and we go to pick a skin. Now here you want to click this little folder with 2 dots and the slash. Do it again. And if you put the folder in correctly, you should see Alex eyes. Click on that and click on eye testing. Now, if you noticed, this skin doesn't have eyes, but our model does. This was added through the new model, which is the blinking animation and stuff. Basically, the eyes, the pupils, the little white bits, and the eyebrows can be animated as their own little bones, if that makes sense. Yeah, it'll make more sense when I show it. If you click on any of these limbs, you can edit the translation, scaling, and rotation. Translation is determining where the limb goes. Scaling decides how big, wide, and long it will be. And rotation speaks for itself. It rotates it. Duh. In the beginning, we want this person to just be normal, basically. But in the second, when you add it again, it duplicates the one you're highlighting. So now we have a second model. If we click pick morph, edit, and we click this little pose guy here, pose editor. Now things start to get interesting. So we want to animate it so her eyes are closed, right? So we need to start tinkering with the limbs. I'm going to try speeding through the video, but I'll explain it as I do it. We're going to start with the right eye. So we want to scale it down so you can't see it, right? So we want to scale that down to actually, we don't want to do the x-axis. We want to do the y-axis. We're going to put that down to 0. You can still kind of see it, that blue bit, but it's basically gone. And we're also going to move the eye downward. Let's use the y-axis. We're going to do let's do 1.2. That's how I'm going to do it. You can change and vary with it, but that's how I'll do it. We're going to do the same thing with the left eye, right? Next up is the pupil. Same thing applies. 0. Oh, oops. 0 for the scale. That way it's pretty much gone. And then for the y-axis, we're going to do 1.2 on the translate. Same thing with the other. One more thing I'd like to get into. If you want to be very exact with how big, where exactly positioned, or how rotated your limb is, you can use dot, and then you can do point something. 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. It doesn't edit it as much as 2 or 3 as whole numbers. It's more of a decimal. It's like a very slight adjustment. You can even go further and go to the 10th place if you really want to get it exact. For me, this is fine. Now that those are done, we need to move the eyebrows. This time we do not need to scale it because the eyebrows will stay the same. We're going to move the eyebrow from the y-axis from 2.5 to 1.5. Same thing with the other. And there you go. Now it's closed. Our character, our girl here, her eyes are now shut. That's good. Next up, I need to explain how stop motion works. When it comes to stop motion, usually what you need to do is you need to take pictures of each animated pose and move the limb one at a time, a tiny little bit. And that can be really frustrating when it comes to stop motion. That's why a few people do it. But McHorse gave us a very powerful tool. Horse Senpai gave us something amazing called the Animates tab. What that means is it adds all the little keyframes in between both models and makes the movement flow much easier. That way, we don't need to make like 50 of these models to animate it. If you don't understand all those terms, all you need to know is if you want a smooth animation, click the animate checkbox for every model. If you'd prefer a choppier sequence, uncheck the box for the models. Okay, so we have a simple animation. Now, let's try recording it, shall we? So I'm just gonna like record it real quick. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna click 2. We're just gonna stand here for a couple seconds, you know, just enjoying the world. Now we click it again. Make sure you have a playback button set. And now you can see it's already animating itself. It doesn't look exactly correct, but we did something, right? The eyes are moving by themselves. That's good. Something you might notice in the eyes is it's moving really oddly. The speed seems too slow and the animation is repeating itself nonstop, almost as if she's got something in her eye. To fix this, we need to tinker with something called duration. Duration means how long the model lasts for. To make it go quick, decrease the duration. To make it prolong, increase it. In this case, I keep saying in this case. For us, we're going to do, say, 10 for now. We're just going to leave this. Where it gets tricky is the model itself has its own duration. The best way to explain this is the model's duration is how long it takes to transition into the model, and the sequence duration is how long the model lasts for itself. And we're going to change this to 3.52. We're going to duplicate the first one again, and we're going to make this 30 just to increase the duration after she blinks. So let's try it. And there we go. It's a little bit more lifelike. Granted, the eye, when it opens up, it's a bit slow. When it closes, it's faster, so we need to change that. Select the third model, pick morph, edit, and then let's set the duration to 3. There we go. Now it's a bit faster, right? Look at that. Pretty cool. Now, what if you want to move the pupil instead of just the eyebrows, right? You can do that too. We're going to duplicate the first model, keep the duration, pick morph, edit again, slightly increase the model duration to 3.5. Now, let's go back to pose editor. We're gonna move the model's left eye, or her right eye in this case, and we're gonna use the pupil. And we're going to move it, we're going to translate it, which is like moving it basically a bit like this. We're going to do 2.5. Sorry, negative 2.5. So now she's looking left. We're going to also change the eyebrows because I want her to be a little bit concerned as if something's behind her. Instead of typing out your x-axis, your y-axis, or your z-axis, you can hold down and pull in any direction, and it'll move it for you. It's a little bit jittery, but once you get the hang of it, you can move it much faster. You'll get more of an exaggerated number, so you can always polish it up. So I like this, but we want to move it down, and I want it to be very exact. Let's do 3. That looks good. So now we have a fourth model. We're going to increase the duration of this because we want her to be concerned for a little bit. We'll now remove the third model because we're animating a different pose, but we're going to add another blinking model. So we're going to click number 2. Add, and then we're going to click this one, the first one, add, and then we're going to increase the duration of the fifth model by 30 just to give some time to breathe. And once we're done, let's take a look. And look at that. You have an animated face. You can also do this with limbs and body parts. We're on the third model. We're going to go back to the pose editor. You can also change arm and leg positions. So we're going to make the right leg kick out. You can always tinker and try out different movements with the legs, with the eyes, with the head. Now, when I move the head like this, I did that by myself. So you don't need to animate the head or like walking around if you already have that recorded. But you can always move the limbs of the left arm, the right arm, the legs, the torso if you really wanted to, and the eyes. Just remember an important rule. If you want smooth transitions between models, always click on the Animated Pose tab. I'm going to show you what happens if we tick them off. Now, the movements are a bit more choppy. It's very fast and precise, but it's still there. The movement is still the same, but instead of a smooth animation, it's more of a quick jerk, except for the head, which we acted out already in the beginning. If you'd like to import your own skins for animated eyes, you have to edit a few things to your skin before you can import it. First off, your skin cannot have eyes or eyebrows. That'll be on a third layer. Second, you need to draw this pattern onto your skin file. This lets the model reader know that those are basically the skin wraps for your eyes. You can use applications like Photoshop or GIMP to do this. This color represents your eye, this represents the eyebrow, and this represents the pupil. You can customize this as you wish. Lastly, go into your Minecraft folder, select Config, Blockbuster, Models, Alex Eyes, Skins, and drag your skin file inside the folder, and you're good to go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to make this for McHorse because he seems very busy, and a lot of people seem to be asking how to do this. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.